Hello, and welcome to the Authentically Elisa podcast, Unmasking Your True Self. I'm Elisa Bogarts, your guide on this journey to discovering the most genuine version of yourself. Each episode is a step towards unveiling the incredible power that lies within you as we strip away all the shoulds and shine a light on the coulds. Together, we'll explore the path of self-empowerment, self-confidence, and the courage to be unapologetically you. Thank you for being here. All right, so let's dive into today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about bringing creativity and play into your business. And today, I have an amazing guest with me, Jenny Eleanora. And Jenny is a creative transformation coach and vibrational healer. Jenny tried to ghost her creative calling. She changed her number, faked her own disappearance, left a sign on her soul that said, "Sorry, Jenny's creativity has moved off to a remote island." But when she was 33, it kicked down her door like a glitter-covered raccoon on an espresso binge. And now she's belting out her whole voice, leading a creative revolution and handing out megaphones to anyone still hiding under the table. Welcome, Jenny.
Hi, Elisa.
Hi, good to have you here. So tell me, how you got into this field of work and just why you're so passionate about it.
I stifled my creative voice and had it stifled for a real long time, as a lot of us do in the culture that we find ourselves in, especially a
Yeah.
lot of women and femmes. Yeah, and until I was about 33 years old, I did not allow myself to be the whole creative soul that I am, and then then I did.
Nice. And so why are you so passionate about it?
Yeah, I guess because my experience of being, um, let's say, silenced, or in which again I have to name included silencing myself. My experience of that was restrictive and didn't allow my life to fully feel like a lot of meaning or passion or purpose to it for decades of it. And then once I finally did open those channels and got support for opening those channels, my whole life transformed. Over the next 20 years after that, I ended up putting a solo album out a couple of years ago when I was 50. And
Wow.
I, yeah, I want to help other women to have that now, right? Wherever you are in your life, I want you to have it now. That's my
Mm.
passion.
Awesome. Yeah, and we do get silenced all the time. Even as adults, as children, and it's something that we need to break through on. And I know I definitely had that experience as well. For sure. Even actually recently, like even this year, I remember someone was like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't say anything if I was you. And I remember thinking
Mm.
afterwards, like, interesting.
Yes.
Silence. Silenced me for this. Very interesting. So what does running your business with authenticity mean to you?
Let's see. We were talking about this on a podcast last week with April Wyatt and well, last week as of this taping. I just remember this is a taping, but Claudia Maurulanda, she is a visual artist. She was talking about authenticity being kind of a buzzword that we use a lot that's sort of ends up being surface level the way we use it. And we started delving into what it really means is, more like a full expression of what we are inside, right? Not just what our real personality might look like, but how do we express the deeper parts of ourselves, show them vulnerably, also find some strength in that vulnerability. That's kind of what authenticity means to me, is it's a choice to be our whole deeper selves and engage with the world in a more rich way than sort of surface level.
Right. And so what does like running a business with authenticity, what
Oh,
does that mean
right.
to
I keep forgetting the first parts of the questions you're asking. So yes, running a business with authenticity. It means that even one of the big things it means for me, I mean, there's a lot it means, but one of the big things is that even if I am afraid that, for example, calling myself a vibrational healer might seem weird, I guess, to some people. I do it anyway because I really, those words resonate for me, and they resonate for the client, for my clients as well. They do define and describe deeply what is going, one of the things that's going on in my business and in my services to people. So that's one example.
Ah,
uh yeah.
I love that. And even with like, your grow your whole voice, that explain to everybody what you mean by whole voice.
Yeah, whole voice is whatever lights us up creatively that we want to express within the world. We as we were talking before, we get stifled or silenced in various ways, and some of us aren't completely silenced, but and we're still using our voice in some ways, but not necessarily the ways that all of the ways that we really truly want to, and in order to, make our lives more joyful and make others' lives more joyful. So, yes, whole voice is the full expression of whatever you want to create and share in the world. And that can take the form of music, as it does a lot in my case, and also in my business, it takes that form. For others, it takes the form of visual art, or for some people, it takes the form, for a lot of women, it takes the form of caregiving. That's another form of full expression, as long as we're doing it in full balance with what gives us energy, even as we're giving energy. So yeah, there's any number of ways, whatever lights you up and however you want to express it.
I love that. And when you do that, I think you are being very authentic and and if you come from that place in your business, you can also very much run your business authentically from that place.
Yes.
Yeah. So, this season of the episode is all about running your business with integrity. So, how do you think that we can kind of reshape business to be more in integrity?
Perfectionism comes into play a lot with that.
Mm.
Where there's a lot of pressure to look like a certain way, not just visually, but like in how we act and how we show up, to have it be within a certain box, I guess. And if that particular box doesn't, if we don't necessarily fit in that box, and we're trying to fit ourselves into it, we do lose integrity, and we end up getting all weird, I guess. That's when all the weird um, personality conflicts come out, and that kind of thing. I do want to add that I'm particularly thrilled on that front to see that, especially the movement, I'm calling it a movement, of women in business, womenpreneurs, women solopreneurs, uh, are really working with that on our growth edge, right? Like on how to be ourselves, be authentic, obviously, be our whole selves, and gain integrity through that, as opposed to gaining integrity through an external cookie cutter version of what a womanpreneur, for example, is supposed to look like or sound like or feel like to the rest of the world. And I do appreciate how we're all showing up. It seems like almost everybody I meet these days, in who's in the womenpreneur world, is showing up in more with more and more integrity and more wholeness.
Yeah, yeah, I'm seeing that too. And it's funny how like you were talking about that cookie cutter or you're in a box or whatever and how that, even as someone like me who's like worked on personal development for so long and you know, with this podcast and everything and such an advocate for it, can still
Hmm.
get trapped in that. I went to this event last weekend and I got like the VIP ticket, which meant that there was going to be like a red carpet and there was going to be like an interview on the red carpet. There's going to be photo shoots and this and that. And it kind of seemed like as if it was all sort of like glamorous. But part of it, it was like a sort of a multi-evented, multi-faceted event. And one part of the event was like a fashion show kind of release of this new fashion line. And the fashion line was streetwear. And so in my mind, it was like, oh, well, I need to like dress nice and sort of, be red carpeted, but then it was also sort of streetwear where I'm very much a jeans and t-shirt and a casual person, like especially working from home. Like I live in my Lululemons. Like, like I get upset when I have to put on jeans and go outside. I'm like, what? And
Mhm.
even though I've always
Oh
been the
yeah.
jeans and t-shirt girl, but now I'm like the Lulu girl. And and so like I had an outfit I wanted to wear, and I remember like uh, I guess it was maybe my own saboteurs or this voice in my head where I kept on picturing being like, and I'm a long distance runner, so I'd run a long distance that morning, and I was like, there's no way that I'm wearing heels. Like I don't wear heels anyway, and like I don't want to wear makeup because I don't like to wear makeup, But then I thought, kind of felt like maybe I had to, and I was like, there's no way that I can wear heels if I ran so much that morning. So I was like, I'm going to wear sandals, and I was like imagining criticism of
Mm.
wearing like just flat regular sort of like flip-flop type things. And it's just kind of funny how like if I'm actually being my authentic self and in integrity, then I will show up however I want to show up, right?
Mm.
And just kind of
Mhm.
let that shine through. And I actually met another woman the morning of the event, and she told me about the streetwear thing. I'm like, oh, that's a really good point. So then I allowed myself to wear sneakers, and I felt fabulous.
Yeah. Yes, you felt you in your
Yeah,
in the box you create for yourself, which can be
right.
changed and opened and reconfigured anytime, right?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. But it's just so funny how that can really creep in, right? It's like, oh, but I'm supposed to be this cookie cutter. Or I look at the woman that was putting the event on, and there's gonna be other women entrepreneurs, and I want to, make a good impression in this and that. And it's like, yes, and you can break free of that mold and still be your authentic self and in integrity, even in business,
Yeah.
and show up how you want to.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for that
Mhm.
story. I love it.
So, yeah, can you give us a tip on how someone can, build creative momentum through these sort of tiny microdoses of play every day? I know that you're all about play, and so like, what are
Mm.
some of those kind of like tiny microdoses of play that we can build into our day to really create momentum, especially because sometimes as an entrepreneur we can get so bogged down with all the things of the business and we don't tap into our creativity, and that
Yep.
can kind of get bogged down by, the emails and everything, all the to-dos that we have to do. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, give us some
Yeah.
tips on that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I am all about play this summer. It's really a kind of a new focus for me. And I kind of created it for myself because I looked back at last summer and I was like, wait, I didn't really have a summer. That was the summer I launched Grow Your Whole Voice. And I
Right.
realized I didn't have a summer. I was like, helping people be more creative, but my own creative outlets and joy, my joyful moments, I guess, had slowed down quite a bit. So yeah, I created that, and the microdose thing is about, just like with any habit, sort of scheduling in even, or planning or intending. I guess planning might be too strong a word for how some of us work, but intending to spend a few moments every day, 1 minute or less, 5 minutes or less, just doing something that we're doing for the heck of it, where that because it makes it joyful. There's no like end goal to it necessarily. Gets us into a play state, which also then helps to facilitate creative flow state. And yeah, so it I can, for right now, my own best evidence is my own life. I have been witnessing some clients also using this method, this new everyday play program and system that I have going on. But I think I have the deepest awareness of my own, and I will say that after, it's August now, and as of this taping, and since I started what I'm calling our summer of play in late May, and practiced these microdoses every day and a few other things that are involved in my system, I have played more and been more creative, more actively creative, probably more than ever in any couple month period of my life by far. And it's kind of blown my mind how strongly just these little changes have affected my whole life. One thing that I'll say, yeah, I guess to give one deeper example of that is, I was trying to, how do I say this? I was trying to trying to figure out um, a new way to man, this is such a big this is a big can of worms for me to talk about this, because there's so many layers of it that I haven't totally even understood myself. But so suffice it to say that me and many and several other clients have had some huge expansion of our creative energies just through 3 microdoses of play every day, 5 minutes or less.
And what's an example of something that you do in your microdose?
Oh yeah. So for me, and again, we all have our different what I call our play landscapes and our play preferences.
Mm.
Uh, I've learned some of that from the work of Stuart Brown. That's somebody you can look up at some point. My favorite microdoses relate to humming and singing, um, moving my body in just random ways, basically. And one recent one that I hit upon that I am using every time I get in the shower, I'm calling shower gargling. And basically just getting some water in my mouth and gargling while also humming and singing. So and playing with the water a little bit. I do love to swim and everything too. So even yeah, I've gone swimming, by the way. Oh, there's a nice simple example. Doing these micro doses of play, I feel like set me up for having my energies open to the opportunities. For example, when it's time to do a bigger play moment like going swimming. And I've gone swimming this summer more than any other summers as an adult combined. So more often. So yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
and my body's healthier, right? My heart and my mind are healthier. My spirit is really, really almost unstoppable.
That's amazing. Wow. So it really shows how it can really help that up. I know like people always talked about that, like, do something that you enjoy, kind of like to boost your energy. But I love how it like also can boost your creative momentum, like you
Yeah.
were just saying. And for me, one thing, yeah, it's like dancing. I love to dance. So if I'm kind of feeling like or if I'm just sort of in like a low energy kind of feel, either like something's annoyed me or something's not working, especially if like you're working with tech or something, it's like you just want to throw your laptop out the window. It's like, okay, don't do that.
Mhm.
Get up and just put on a song and just dance for, however many minutes the song is. And,
Mhm.
and it really kind of takes you out of that state and does like, increase your energy and puts you in a more positive mindset. And yeah, and it helps you to play, and then you can really create your build on your creative momentum as well.
Right, right. And yeah, the idea of momentum too. I appreciate a lot how that concept and that practice sort of bypasses some of that perfectionism that I was mentioning earlier that because like even if, for example, I um go ahead and move into a tiny moment of play and it doesn't say it's something about what's going on for me that it doesn't totally lighten my mood, right? Say that doesn't happen in that moment. The practice of it guarantees that it is going to happen sooner rather than later anyway. So that's that because of that momentum building. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, yeah. That's a really good point because I've had that sometimes where it's like, okay, like, go meditate or something, and then I go to meditate, but then like my mind, like I can't get, there's sometimes a meditate, they're like, count your breaths and count it down. I get to like two, and then my mind's already wandered about whatever it is that, brought me to meditate in the first place, or, like, and
Exactly.
sometimes it just doesn't work. And sometimes, you need to try something different. But I really
Yeah.
like how you just had that. That's a really good frame of mind. Is like, even though maybe right this second it didn't do it, but like, you will get the positive outcomes of it potentially too.
Right. Right. Yeah. And one thing I can recommend with, I say I have my little tiny dose of play list, right, of things that I'll pull from it a few times a day. It's good to have a variety of those things. I mean, it's good to like kind of know what your own go-to easy roads to a play state might be. What your natural things are, and it's also good to stretch that a little bit and try a few different kinds of things, because sometimes some moments might really call for a certain type of thing. And so, yeah, I guess there are some times, as we're talking about it, that if I'm trying one thing, like say I'm humming and it's not really doing it, I might shift to another thing, like bouncing on the rebounder or something. So yeah.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, those are so, yeah, great. So, like, if someone were to take an action today, go and, well, what would you recommend? Would you recommend they sort of like define that what their play landscape is, or create their little list, or schedule it in? Or
Yeah. Create a little list of like just things you might do, or you can even ask Chat GPT or something, right? Stuff you might do that would take you 5 minutes or less, uh, that would help you just feel joyful or get into a moment of play, and pick the things that stand out the most for you and put them on your list. Keep that list with you somewhere or in your phone maybe. And yeah, then choose from them 3 times a day. That's the prescription.
3 times a day. Perfect. Yes. Little
And
tiny microdoses.
yeah, and also like another, I there are ideas. Speaking of places to get ideas, that I have what I call a play toolkit, and it's you can get it for free at play.growyourwholevoice.com. So that's a way to get in my world a little bit and get in touch with me too, and get some tips and tricks for getting more play back into your life before the summer's over, right? Before at least in this part of the world where I am in the US and you are, Elisa, in Canada. Yeah, get that into. Well, oh no, sorry, you're in Washington State, right?
Nope, I'm in Canada. You're right.
Canada. Okay, wow, second guess myself. Anyway, yeah, so play.growyourwholevoice.com. That's how to get in my world.
Awesome. Yeah. And you had put here you're also offering a meditation, the Creative Channels audio collection.
Yes, that is at meditation.growyourwholevoice.com. And that's a series of 6 audio tracks, some with spoken visualization exercises and some with just sound vibration, to help open up your creative channels in the areas of your creative spark, right? Like what lights you up creatively in your world. And create your creative abundance is the second theme, and then your creative passion is the third.
Interesting. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. That's so generous of you.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
some takeaways that I have is this whole thing about growing, using your whole voice to really shine through who you are and what you stand for. And we talked about, kind of like stepping out of that cookie cutter mold. Like, even if you usually do, sometimes if you find yourself trapped back in there, step yourself right out of it and be, authentic and do it with intention. And then we were just talking about that. You can go ahead and define what you come up with a little list of things that could bring you joy that you could do for under 5 minutes. And so it could be dancing, it could be singing, humming, or even shower gargling, which I absolutely love. And you can even get creative with it then. If you get into that creative flow, you can think of some creative, fun things that you could do to add to your list. And then, yeah, be intentional and intend to do them 3 times a day. You can even schedule it in if you so choose, or just, be really mindful of that as an intention for that day that you're going to do it at least 3 times. So, do you have any final words of wisdom to finish us off?
Hmm. Um, uh, just allow. That's the only word that's coming to me. So I'm gonna let that resonate in there. Go ahead and say it out loud to yourself wherever you are. Allow.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you so much, Jenny. This has been a great conversation. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you.
Thank you, Elisa.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope it inspired you to live a more authentic life. I'd love your help in inspiring more people to live authentically. So please follow, rate, and leave a review so we can create a ripple effect of authenticity. Until next time, stay true to you be bold, and thrive on your own terms. This is Elisa signing off authentically.